What's good? My name is Jay, and today we are going to go over iPhone video footage, or just footage in general, DSLR video footage, and then cinema video footage. None of which are mine, but they are on YouTube, and we are going to go over them and diagnose, really see the true differences between all of them.
Promise like I care what you think. Promise like I give a shit what you think. Now when I break the door, now I'm gonna be born. Yeah. The Jack of HotelTrades.com.
All right, so first we are going to dive in to the iPhone footage. Now, don't get me wrong, the iPhone is great. I've actually used the iPhone for a number of different projects for clients, and they were actually very happy with it. And as a prerequisite, you actually editing is almost more important than the footage itself. Like, knowing how to edit and place things is very important, but it's also just as important as getting good shots and providing good quality. Like, for example, if you have crappy footage and you edit well, there's a good chance that it's still going to be a relatively decent video. Likewise, if you edit well and you have really crappy footage, like for example, if your footage is completely out of focus the whole time, then that's just a no-go. But when you have both, when you're a good editor and you have really good footage, like cinema footage, for example, my rings are bugging me, then you're in the gold. You are in the gold. So let's go over how, or like what details really make a difference between the three. So right now we're looking at moments video with the iPhone 12 mini cinematic 4K footage. I'm guessing, since it is moment, that they are using their moment lenses for this, but even then it still doesn't generate a DSLR or even close to a cinema quality style. We'll just let this run for a bit. And the one thing that I noticed the most, and I realized that it's not a photo that technically is glass based or a video that was taken with glass, is that the depth of field is almost non-existent. When you get really like shallow or really close to an object in the foreground, or even just as your main item, then yeah, you're gonna get some depth of field, but it just doesn't see, like right there, there's a bit of depth of field. That's just because it was really close. But as you can see, most of the stuff in this shot is in focus. That's how I can tell it is shot with something like a phone, like a smartphone. Now, when we go into DSLR footage, you're going to notice that there's definitely more depth of field, and it's just, the quality is just a little bit different. The main indicator is the depth of field. If you're able to see this kind of depth of field happening, granted with a wide shot like this, you're not going to get it, but see how there's already depth of field happening even when it's so close, and you're not like super close to a, say, object of sorts, like a subject. You're not super close to it, because that's what you have to do with an iPhone. You have to get super close and able to achieve that depth of field. In this case, not always, because the depth of field is definitely more prevalent. It's definitely a short video, but that one shot is what I wanted to go with. This one right here. Like this shot, especially given the lens that they chose for this shot, it's definitely allowing a lot more of that depth. And with an iPhone, all of that would be in focus. Like, there's no doubt about it. At least with this like angle and how much space presumably is between the camera and the subject here, like there would be little to no depth of field. So I know that this is a DSLR based off that. But now if we go into cinema camera footage, there isn't only the depth of field, but it's also super crisp quality. So this is the, so the prior video was quick ass tutorials, cool. And then with this one, it is Lens Pro to go. I want to make sure that I shout these out because these aren't my videos that I'm showing you, as you can see. I'm just using these as examples, but here's this piece of footage, and just by this pause shot alone, you can tell, like, it's almost like has a realistic feel to it. It's not like the DSLR footage. The DSLR, if you were to shoot this shot right here, or shoot this image with a cinema camera, you would be able to see the rose petals a lot clearer, and it would, your focus would be better, because technically with a cinema camera there is no autofocus. You literally have to have a designated operator that is pulling focus for you. That's the real difference between, or those crazy people that pull their own focus and are the camera operators at the same time. I don't know how they do that. So, but the quality is just superb with a cinema camera. And this is the Pocket 6K, mind you. This isn't a Red. This isn't some other crazy cinema camera. This is the Pocket 6K, which I believe goes for about $2,000, which isn't bad at all. It really isn't. So if we let this play through, you can tell there's a lot of depth of field happening and a lot of clarity, and the colors are just so much better. Colors in cinema camera and DSLR cameras, being able to manage your colors and adjust them properly really makes you go from an intermediate video editor to an advanced editor. If you know how to properly color your scene and also allow it to pop in a certain way, then that's great. And along with the pulled focus and being a cinema camera and its quality, it looks so good. Like, it looks so great. And again, this is a pocket camera. This is a pocket cinema camera. This isn't like the full-fledged cinema cameras. This is a pocket camera. A pocket cinema camera. Like, it's really good for somebody that's under a budget and really isn't trying to go all out on a camera. Like, it's really good. And even with the close shots, I mean, you're gonna get depth of field like that no matter what. But even in this scenario, like, you're pretty far away from the subject here, and all these other people that you see on the side here are still out of focus, even though he is in focus. Like, that really shallow. But then again, it also, I suppose it depends on the kind of lens that you end up using. But in this case, I mean, I feel like cinema cameras, they really try to sell on the realism of you allowing your eyes to put something in focus and having everything else blurred out. Like, they really, I feel like they develop towards that, just getting closer to the realism of things while you're recording, and it just makes it so much better and so much clearer. Like, if you really want to make some really awesome looking video, learn how to use a cinema camera, definitely. But when I go through social media and I'm watching, say, something on like an Instagram reel, I could tell whether it's shot with an iPhone or Android phone, a DSLR, or a cinema camera. I can usually tell. Of course, the DSLR, depending on which kind of DSLR you have to a cinema camera, sometimes that's a pretty close gap because some DSLRs are actually pretty nice. But when it comes to most DSLRs to a cinema camera, I can also tell the difference. So it's like, if you want to deliver a quality to someone of, say, my experience, and you don't want them to nitpick your stuff and you want them to go, that's really good stuff, just buy a cinema camera. Save up about $2,000-$3,000, because you'll need to get like rig equipment to, maybe even if you want to really go ham, $5,000 would probably be a good budget range for even the most budgeted cinema cameras. Some cameras cost that much just for the body. So, mind you, as a budget cinema camera, price tag, it's going to be about $5,000. So keep that in mind. DSLR setups can be about this. Well, not about the same, but can go from anywhere from like $400 or $500 to $10,000 too. So DSLRs, cinema cameras have kind of like a really wide range, just in different ranges. But I mean, an iPhone and your phone is your phone, and it's not gonna get the quality of a DSLR ever. At least, knock on wood. I mean, we might get to that point where our cameras are just as good as a DSLR, which would be insane. But that's the lowdown as far as iPhone, DSLR, and cinema cameras. Let me know if you learned anything in the comments. Please like this video and subscribe if you dig my vibe. Appreciate you for watching. Love you guys. Remember your heart. Peace!